Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are doing our budget to finish out the month of October. My husband gets paid on Fridays, and that's what we base our payday on, even though for grocery delivery, I actually finish on Sundays. And so that is why we do our budget on Monday. But like I said, we base our monthly paychecks off of his check since he's the steady income. Anyway, I was able to hit my barely, like skirted over it by just a tiny amount, my minimum monthly goal for what I bring home. We're still dealing with my sister and my niece. My niece was born a little bit early, and so we were still kind of dealing with helping to care for like my nephew and stuff this last week. But they're all home now, so next week we should be, back to normal, and hopefully I can exceed my weekly goal. Anyway, let's get into it. We are able to make some progress on some stuff, so it is, for me, a little bit exciting. We are going to start out by closing out, or I'm going to show you guys, I've already done it, show you guys how things ended up with the last check. It's almost always different. If you've been watching these videos for a little while, there's always like something that arrives. But right here, I don't have to roll the medication money anymore. We went and picked that up, and that was a little bit less than 100. So that altered our numbers slightly. Everything else, was the same. And down here, a couple unbudgeted items. I'm going to go to Morrison Music. More stuff for instruments. Especially that bassoon is going to be the death of me. And then one of the kids had a school project, and went to Walmart and picked up some supplies for that. We ended up, instead of having $532.59 left over, we ended up with $483.61 over here. That is our $300 checking cushion. And then $183.66 to savings, which comes out to a zero-based budget. And I always show you guys groceries. Last week we started out with $204 in funds available, and then I did my shopping last week at Aldi, Walmart, and Hy-Vee, which came out to about $169, rounding up anyway, leaving us with $35 for this week. Now let's go right here, and I've got to turn that so I can write. I'm a sideways writer. All right, we have our checking cushion available, $300. Our actual income for this budgeting period is $1,272.83. And so we are working with $1,572.83, though we try to not touch that cushion if we don't have to. Now here are items that have either already come out of the account since Friday or that I need to transfer. All right, so we have the remainder of our mortgage at $282. If this is your first video, I pull out usually a quarter of the mortgage, but since October was 5 checks, it was 1/5 each week. Sorry, I'm getting some coffee there. All right, we had to pay for an AP test for one of my daughters. My little guy needs a haircut. I don't really know how much that's going to be, but I've got $35 there as the budget. I was out yesterday doing grocery delivery and needed some gas. And guess what? I didn't have the credit card with me that we use for gas, so I had to pop out the debit card. So we had $27 in gas from yesterday. My son had a birthday party invitation, and we went to the little girl's birthday party. He made her card, and then we gave her $10 as her present. Now we are trying to, I want to try to keep the grocery budget very low from here through really the end of the year. Holidays are upon us. This month we have, Thanksgiving, obviously, and then Christmas comes up. And I also have one of our daughters is a December birthday, and she's turning 16. That birthday, in my mind, is a special birthday, and we are going to try to, do something more special for her than what we normally do on birthdays. And so that will cost a little bit more. Anyway, grocery budget's the most flexible thing within a budget. And so we are going to try to keep that very low. Okay, so we have 453. And I just remembered something I need to add in here. We did add Discovery, no, not Discovery # Discovery Plus. Because we are Trash Reality Horse. Add that on there. $99. Okay. We just got a Trader Joe in town. Like they just opened, last week? We've never been, though we want to go. And we're going to count that $25 as fun money. All right. Even though it probably will be food. But we're going to count it as fun. Because it's not something we normally do, and it will not be a place that I regularly shop. So fun money it is. All right. So right now we're spending $483.99. Of that, $12.72 groceries. This week we have a lot of stuff in the fridge. I don't know what my kids have been eating, but we still have quite a bit of stuff in the fridge. They have been raiding the pantry, actually. Like why they're choosing to eat applesauce when we have apples in the refrigerator, I do not know, but they are. So I still have quite a bit of fresh food, so I don't need to buy a lot, but it would be nice to stock up on the pantry a little bit. So grocery, I try to do $175 a week as my normal budget. Sorry. My nose is a little bit runny. Okay. But we're going to do 100. And that will help. Yeah. That should help, keep stuff up fresh food wise and help stock the pantry while saving a little bit more money. Holidays wise. Okay, so that puts us at $583.99. And for those of you who maybe this is your first time watching me do this, this is the Budget by Paycheck workbook. You can see that she labels things fixed expenses like bills and then variable expenses. I don't think about things like that. So I'm just hey, this is what needs to be spent. This is what's going to be spent kind of gal. So everything just kind of goes here. And if we go over, then we hop down here. All right. 1972. 3. That leaves us with 988.84. $988.84. Pull out that checking cushion. Can you guys see this? No, you can't. $300. Which we already know, of course, is $688. We're going to go to savings. And then I'm going to pull out some of this stuff. We're just going to label it holiday. Since we don't have anything set aside for holidays and birthdays and such. This is just how things have worked out. All right. And so I think... let's do 200 right here. I am going to be working my tail end off. So we should be able to do that. I'm going to double check my math. All right, it is correct. Okay, so we're gonna go down here and say that our savings total is $988.84, leaving us with nothing, which is what we want. Zero-based budget. Every single thing has a job. Don't have any little employees sitting around not doing anything. Okay, over here, where I have my grocery rollover of $35, we are adding 100 to that. Therefore, we actually have $135 to work with this week. All right, and then the goal coming up that we will see in our next pay period, the first one of November. That goal is just to make money, make money, make money. So there we are. I feel like we're doing okay. I was, of course, hoping October was going to be much better than it was. But it is what it is. We were able to add to savings, and we're getting a little bit set there for holidays. As far as the make money, make money, make money, I'm working on that work everyday challenge that I talked about in my last video. This past week, it was kind of a week work every day since we were still helping with the care of my nephew. But my sister is home now, and they are, I won't have to help as much, though we are going to be, going over and helping a little bit. But I won't have to take full days off to help out in that way. And so, since my work everyday challenge was a little bit weak and a little bit interrupted last week, I decided, okay, we're just going to step back and we're going to call Sunday, November 2nd, the start of that challenge. And so today I already went out. Normally on Mondays I don't go out. My husband and I hang out. We do the budget, typically go grocery shopping. But I, said to myself, Julia, you pop up out of bed every day, like at 5 at least. So that means you have the ability to go out and work at least 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Monday. And so I did. Didn't make a ton of money, but I got something on the board. Let me know in the comments, how did October end for you? Were you a 4 paycheck? Or I guess for a lot of you it would be 2. Were you a 2 paycheck or a 3 paycheck if you're biweekly? Were you a 4 paycheck or a 5 paycheck if you're weekly? I guess if you're weekly it would be 5. But do you count that as October, that 5th one, since it was on the 31st, or did you count it for November? Anyway, that's just some interesting, budgeting nuance. I would like to know how people handle. Anyway, you guys have a great week. I hope that this paycheck and this budget work out for you, and I really hope it works out for me.